So continuity equation comes from the divergence theorem, okay, and we already know what divergence theorem or what divergence is. So continuity equation is related to divergence, and we will use this, or we will see how we can derive this by assuming flowing water. So let's first define what is divergence V. Divergence V is nothing but del dot V, which is dou Vx by dou x plus dou Vy by dou y plus dou Vz by dou z. So this is our divergence of V. Here of course we have assumed what have we assumed? We have assumed that V is actually a vector field of x, y, z. Okay. Now, alright, so we are going to use this divergence V concept and try to derive the continuity equation. So let's consider flowing water. Okay. So if the water is flowing, then it will flow with a certain velocity. Okay. So it flows with certain velocity, and this velocity might be different at different points, okay, where it is flowing. So it means that velocity is actually a vector field. So this creates a velocity field, which is a vector field. Okay. So we have a velocity vector field. Okay, we have this. Now the goal is to show the goal of the continuity equation. What is that? Is that if V represents the velocity field, alright, the velocity of the flow, then divergence of V is related to the amount of material flowing out. Okay, the amount of material flowing out of a given volume. Okay. So this is what the goal of the continuity equation. So we have to show that if V represents the velocity of the flow around a certain volume, then divergence of V is related to the amount of material flowing out of a given volume. So let's see. So the actual material could be anything. It could be water, it could be gas, right? It could be any fluid. Material here is the fluid. Okay, which could be water or gas or electricity, right? Anything that can be represented as a velocity field. Alright, so let's go to the first thing. Let's imagine that there is some volume. Okay, so this is a volume, okay, which is like a cylinder, and you have some water flowing in, okay, and some water flowing out. Alright. Now A is the area of cross section. Okay. So and V is the velocity with which the material or the water is flowing out. And the unit normal to this area of cross section is N. Okay. And then unit normal makes an angle theta with the velocity. Okay. So this is our unit normal to area of cross section and this is our velocity vector. Okay, so let's define a variable. Let's define a variable v, capital V, which is equal to v into rho. So small v into rho. So this is our velocity and this is our density. Okay, so this represents density of water for our case. Alright, so this capital V is velocity into density. Okay. Now, the amount of water crossing the area A dash. Okay, so we are defining two areas here. This area is A dash and this one is A. Okay, so the back side area is A dash and the front side area is A. Okay, so we have the amount of water crossing area A dash is equal to amount of water in a cylinder of cross section A dash, right, and length Vt. Okay, so Vt, if you combine V and T, it will represent like a length. So the units will become the unit of length. So what we are saying is that the amount of water crossing the area A dash is equal to the amount of water in a cylinder of cross section A dash and length Vt. Okay, all right. So therefore, the amount of water is Vt A dash rho. Okay, so the total amount of water is Vt A dash rho. So this represents, so V into T will represent your length. Okay, this is area, so this will represent volume, and this is density, which is amount per volume. Okay, so if this is amount per volume into volume, so this will give you the amount of water. Okay, now Vt A dash rho is equal to Vt A rho A cos theta. Why? Because A dash is like a straight one, but this is slightly off at an angle. So something that is going in here like this Vt A dash, it will become Vt A cos theta. Okay, because the normal is over here and this is our velocity, so this one will become A cos theta. All right. So now amount of water crossing unit area in unit time is Vt rho A cos theta by unit area by unit time into unit area. Okay, so we are going to get V rho cos theta. Okay, and V rho we have defined as V. So this is V cos theta. Okay, so V cos theta is nothing but V dot your normal. Dot product of V, capital V and the normal to the area. This is N. Alright, so this is our amount of water crossing unit area in unit time. Okay, so this is the amount of water crossing the cylinder, and now we can connect it to divergence. So let's connect it to divergence. So what is divergence of V? So we have V dot N, and now we want to convert this to divergence. Okay, so to divergence. So let's consider a volume element. Okay, so this is our volume element. So we have X, Y and Z. Okay, so this surface call it 1 and this side you can call it 2. Alright, so this element is your dz, this is your dy. Okay, so this is dz, this one is dy. Okay, so we have rate at which water flows into surface 1 V dot I dx, sorry, dy dz, right, because it is flowing through surface 1. So surface 1 has the dy side and dz, right, it is constant in the dx. So this is dy dz. Similarly for, so this is going to be Vx, right, V dot I will be Vx dy dz. And rate at which water flows out, so this you can call it Vx1 out of surface 2 is going to be Vx2 dy dz. So ultimately the net flow is going to be delta Vx dy dz. So delta Vx is nothing but your dVx. Okay. So delta Vx is dVx and dVx is nothing but dou Vx by dou x into dx. Okay. So this is for one side or one side of the surface. So similarly you can do for all three directions, and ultimately what you will get is net outflow is going to be dou Vx by dou x plus dou Vy by dou y plus dou Vz by dou z into dx dy dz. This is going to be your net outflow. Okay, this is going to be your total net outflow, and this is nothing but del dot V. This is the divergence, right? So del dot V into dx dy dz. Alright, So this is your net outflow, and this should be related to your amount of water flowing out, right? Because ultimately this is also net outflow. So divergence of V can be different from 0 if there is a source and a sink. So let's say you have a water source from which water is continuously flowing out, and you have a sink which is collecting water. Okay, and in between of source and sink the water is flowing. Okay, if that is the scenario, then the net mass of fluid being added, then net mass of fluid being added, if the scenario is that source produces more but sink is not able to collect as much, then there will be some net mass of fluid. So the net mass of fluid being added is source density minus sink density. We can call this psi. Okay, so and rho is your density of the fluid itself. Okay, so and dou rho by dou t is increase of density per unit. So this is rate of increase of density per unit volume. Rate of increase of mass, right? Density is mass by volume. So rate of increase of mass per unit volume. So ultimately you are relating dou rho by dou t dx dy dz. So this is your volume element and this is your density element. So ultimately you will get mass element. So this is amount of substance that is increased per unit time is given by psi dx dy dz, net flow between source and sink, minus whatever is passing through the volume, which is minus del dot v dx dy dz. Okay, so this is going to be dou rho by dou t is equal to psi minus del dot v. Alright, of course if there is no source or sink, then you are going to have psi is going to be 0, right? The net flow between source and sink, that is going to be there is no net increase between source and sink, so psi is going to be 0, and then you are going to have dou rho by dou t plus del dot v is equal to 0. Okay, so these two equations are known as the continuity equation. So this equation, what it tells you is that it tells you how much of density is being increased per unit time, and how that density per unit time, increase in density per unit time, is related to the divergence of the vector field through a particular volume. Okay, so that is what this means. So this is our continuity equation which follows from the divergence theorem. Alright, so we are done with this chapter.